All right, we're finally back with a new edition of Weather for Weather Geeks here on Wednesday evening. On Monday, I was in a golf tournament, and so it was a half day for me. I didn't get back to the office here until mid-evening, and then yesterday I was covering those heavy thunderstorms that rolled through during the evening hours and had to be alert for possible severe weather. So we didn't do Weather for Weather Geeks yesterday, but thankfully things are quieter this evening, so we can finally take a deep dive into our local weather. We'll take a look at the near term and the longer range in this video as well. In the meantime, over the last 24 hours, here's a look at some rain gauge numbers. Exactly an inch worth of rain in Alliance, pretty close to that in Canton. A couple of hot zones here with the rainfall totals, kind of the 62 corridor, if you will, and then up in the northern reaches of our TV viewing area, especially northeastern Mercer County. Downtown Youngstown at our studios here, we had a little over a half an inch. I only had 0.2 in Boardman. I know amounts got a little bit higher as you got a little bit closer to Canfield and certainly down into Latonia and Columbiana. We had our storms last evening. Then we had spotty thunderstorms in the wee hours of this morning between, say, 2 and 5 a.m. that brought some thunder and lightning and some spotty heavy rain as well. All right, it was a seasonably warm day today, a little bit above average, but nothing too crazy hot. It was certainly plenty humid. 82 is what we did at the airport today. It got to 83 in Akron, a toasty 86 up at Hopkins Airport in Cleveland. We've had a scattering of sprinkles and showers this afternoon as expected north of Interstate 80 primarily. And as of a little after 7 o'clock, 7:08, a couple of residual showers out there, one in Mercer County, one in the Warren and Cortland area, but that's about it. These are going to fade away quickly this evening, leaving us with a partly cloudy sky. I think clouds will thicken again by tomorrow morning. It is muggy still, but it's not going to be much. We don't have much longer to go before some changes head our way. We'll see these 60s dew points replaced by this air mass that's moving across the upper Midwest this evening. Dew points are tumbling down into the lower 50s in the Twin Cities. Green Bay, it's fallen to 51, and Milwaukee and Chicago are next, as well as Des Moines and Dubuque, all places they're going to see much drier, more comfortable air in the wake of this front. Now, our forecast as of last evening for Thursday was not all that wet. We had a sprinkle or a shower possibility, but there's been some trends over the last 24 hours. This front now looks a little more sluggish. And as a result of its slow forward speed, I think a little rain's going to try to break out on Thursday, especially by the end of the morning and into the afternoon. It should then end from north to south by late afternoon, early evening. If you have outdoor plans after, say, 5, 6 p.m., last couple of hours of daylight on Thursday, I suspect that's the best part of the day overall. But other than that, just plan on a damp and cool day. It should be our coolest day since early June. When it's raining tomorrow afternoon, in a lot of places, it may be no higher than 68, 69 degrees. Before the rain arrives, it might sneak up to 71, 72, but a big change, certainly. It's still going to be a little bit muggy, especially through midday tomorrow. Then those dew points will start to fall. I'll show you that in just a moment in graphical form. So yeah, elevated chance for wet weather tomorrow, but it's going to be light rain. I really don't think there's any thunder and lightning with this. Just kind of a different August day. It's been a while since we've had a day in which, temperatures did not reach at least the upper 70s. And again, it's been since early June since we've had highs in the lower 70s like we expect tomorrow. As far as how much rain to expect, European model kind of leading the pack here, a little over 3/4 of an inch worth of rain. I think that's overdone. I think reality is somewhere in here. That's where the kind of the mean of our modeling is. So we have a couple of lower models, but 1/4 of an inch to a half an inch. I think probably I'd hedge a little bit closer to a 1/4 of an inch as a rain average in most of our area for tomorrow. All right, this is the kind of graphic I like showing, especially if you're tired of the humidity. Watch these dew points lower quickly. Thursday into Thursday night, and then spectacular weather coming our way Friday and into the weekend with dew points instead of near 70, closer to 50 by Friday afternoon. And through the weekend, we'll blitz through the rest of Futurecast here quickly. High pressure will be centered just to our northeasterly flow, just great summer weather, a little bit below average temperature-wise, certainly little to no humidity concerns whatsoever. Be just a great stretch of weather to keep the windows open, and also nearly ideal for the walkers and runners at the Panerathon here in downtown Youngstown on Sunday morning. The 10K run begins at 10 a.m., and I'll be participating in that along with Caroline and Andrew, and I think Ramel is running as well. And then there'll be other WFMJ faces who won't be running in the 10K per se, but maybe walking parts of the race and participating in Panerathon. But I'll be out there huffing and puffing with a lot of other people doing the 10K. That's 6.2 miles. In case you don't follow me on Instagram, I every now and then I'm posting about my running progress on Instagram. I'm training for the Youngstown Half Marathon coming up at the end of October. Kind of, this is new to me. I'm not an athlete, and this is my first time competitively running. I've done a couple of 5Ks this year, but this will be my first 10K and then my first half marathon coming up at the end of October. Anyway, weather looks great on Sunday. Low humidity, some sunshine, and not that hot for those who will be out there sweating. And, it was interesting. I looked back. This is the 10th year for Panerathon, and I looked back at the weather records going back to the first Panerathon all the way through last year. I couldn't find any measurable rain at the Youngstown Warren Airport. Now, of course, the race is run in Youngstown, but at least where the official records are kept and I can look at the observations at the airport, I couldn't find any rain during any Panerathon going back over the last 9 years. And we've had some warm winds, especially 2016 when the 10 a.m. temperature was 79. By noon, it was probably well into the 80s. But yeah, I couldn't find, other than that, a lot of hot Panerathons, some warm ones, yes, but nothing unusual. And it certainly could be worse at the end of August. And so, again, great news for the Panerathon on Sunday. All right, longer range thoughts. Nice, comfortable air mass for this weekend is going to be replaced by some warmth and some humidity by the middle of next week. Now, it's not a crazy hot pattern. It's not going to be a pattern that produces a 90. But we'll get into a kind of a southwesterly flow here ahead of this area of upper level low pressure, which is going to then pivot across the Great Lakes as we head towards the end of next week into next weekend, and that's Canfield Fair weekend. That's Labor Day weekend. I don't think we're going to have a very hot Labor Day / Canfield Fair weekend this time around. I like what I'm seeing as far as the trends go. Looks very comfortable. This is the 8 to 14 day outlook showing highest odds for cooler than average temperatures out here in the heartland. But across our region, again, it's maybe not going to be as cool compared to the average as our neighbors to the west, but it's also not going to be very hot. So I would expect a lot of 70s and perhaps lower 80s for daytime highs for the long holiday weekend coming up at the end of next week. And if you're planning on heading to the Canfield Fair, maybe stopping by the WFMJ tent and meeting our station personalities, including yours truly, it should not be one of the hotter years at the fair. I'll be talking more about the fair, of course, as we get closer. Just as a heads up, I got a question about this on my live stream on Facebook last evening, or one of my Facebook posts. When is everybody going to be at the fair? Leslie, Dana, Derek, and myself will be at the WFMJ tent Saturday of fair weekend from 10 to 2, and then Sunday from 2 to 6. So 10 to 2 Saturday, 2 to 6 on Sunday. That's for our crew, and of course the morning crew will be there at times, and you'll be able to see everybody if you're out at the fair, but those are the times that the evening crew, Derek, Dana, Leslie, myself, will be there. So hope to see many of you there, and of course, again, I'll be talking more about fair weather and history of weather at the Canfield Fair as we get a little bit closer to the end of next week. Thanks for checking out Weather for Weather Geeks this evening. I'll see you on 21 News at 11 tonight in a fresh edition of this video, same time, same place on Thursday.